Annja retraced her steps, using the foliage that was crushed in the fight as a guide. She stopped at the massive tree that had initially sheltered her from the sniper and looked to her left.
There it is.
She started toward the gnarled tree as Roux crashed through the undergrowth toward her.
What are you doing?
Annja touched the rusted ring surrounded by overgrown bark.
I noticed this earlier before I was forced to fight for my life.
So?
I think it's important.
Why? It's a ring. It's probably been there for years, maybe a century or two.
Exactly.
Annja grabbed the ring and gave it a sharp tug. It was rusted in place.
You're never going to get that out.
Never say never. Keep a lookout.
Roux turned away to watch for tourists. Annja started chopping at the overgrown bark next to the ring. The hilt of Joan's sword seemed to vibrate with each blow, as though it was encouraging her to keep going. Chunks of bark and bits of wood flew as she concentrated on one small area. Annja could almost see through the bark, imagining the outline of a small door with the iron ring in the center of it. Finally, she stepped back and jammed the tip of the sword into the gash she had created in the wood, then pushed hard against the hilt, using the blade like a pry bar.
Holy cannoli.
Sure enough, there was a dark crack in the wood where the bark had been. The wood under the bark definitely didn't look like it belonged to the rest of the tree. Annja jammed the sword's tip into the crack and started pushing the hilt up and down, shoving against the pommel, working the blade in further and further until she finally felt no resistance.
Bingo.
Roux turned around.
You found something?
Maybe.
She grabbed the hilt from the side and pulled hard. The hatch in the tree, brittle with age, broke in half, revealing a dark hole inside the trunk. Annja looked at the sword in her hand, then at Roux.
Well, I guess that's what we were supposed to find. You want to reach in, see what's inside?
Of course, but you're the archaeologist. And besides, your hands are smaller than mine. You do the honors.
Annja grinned.
Sissy.
She sent the sword back to the otherwhere and slipped her hand past the broken edge and into the space beyond. The jagged edge scratched her wrist as she pushed it past the opening.
Feel anything?
Not yet. At least it's dry. That's a good sign.
Annja's fingers scrabbled around in what felt like sawdust, and she was considering pulling her hand back out so she could widen the hole when her fingers brushed something metallic.
Aha!
She pushed her arm into the hole as far as she could, probably losing some skin, but she managed to hook her fingers around another ring, larger than the one on the hatch. Annja closed her eyes in concentration and slowly pulled her forearm out of the hole. The skin was rough and red, but as her wrist appeared, then her hand, she still managed to hang on. Her fingers were clutching a rusted iron ring about 5 inches in diameter. Finally, the entire object was revealed.
Mon Dieu.
Keys hung from the ring, beautifully crafted with ornate scrollwork. In contrast to the ring, they shone in the dappled sunlight.
Do you think they're gold?
That would be my guess.
So, it seems that Sir Barnaby Hemsley hid a set of keys where no one could find them.
Roux met Annja's gaze, one eyebrow raised, blue eyes twinkling.
Wonder what they open.
She grinned.
I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.